Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we'll be talking about a spear, and let's talk about like all the 3-3 spears that's gonna be in the game. And pretty much we don't really have that many. We pretty much only have 3 different spears: the Junobot, the Supreme Polearm of Resistance, and the Witch. Pretty much these 3 are the spears that's available in T3, which is, if you think about it, these spears are it's like kind of weird, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a new spear coming out, and it's gonna be the Archbow spear, and that Archbow spear might be a game-changing spear compared to for some of the classes. Because right now, a lot of these spears are kind of mediocre, I would say. It's not the best. Like, if you pretty much have Crimson is still good in terms of passive if you have a legendary spear. But if you're running a legendary spear with a Crimson passive, it's probably one of the good spears still in the game. But yeah, as of right now, a lot of the spear are catered towards just one ability only, and that's Bloodleech Aura. So pretty much for whatever reason, they tend to focus towards this one skill. I think I kind of know the reason why there's not that many spears anyway, because in T1 there's not really spear in T1, right? In T1, basically, I remember the meta back then was it was one of this spear. It's the heroic polearm resistance. This is one of the best spear in T1, as I remember it back in those days. So there's not really that many world boss spear that's really good. The good one is just the Junobot one, and you don't even really go for Junobot for the passive. You only go for it for the stat line, pretty much, because the base damage is good back then. So yeah, so now I'll just go over it really quick, and let's talk about the 3 new spears that's coming out. So first, let's talk about the polearm. The polearm is just a stat stick: 10 strength, 10 dexterity, max health, and range 14%. So essentially what's gonna be, it's gonna be almost the same as like what heroic spear back in T1 was, but with slightly less range. It's 6% less range, so it's gonna be an interesting dynamic on how people are gonna be playing it. But again, with all the T2 stuff that we got, I don't think it's really necessary to go this spear anymore. Back in T1, we don't have heroic gear. Like, we don't have the legendary spear, the heroic spear, and all that, so it doesn't really matter. So we can just run the T1 heroic spear. It's still good. But now, the one that we have, the golden spear, which is the heroic or legendary, whatever you want to call it, that spear is just essentially going to be better than whatever polearm is going to offer you. So I'll just instantly close this out. This is not really a good spear that you want to go for. I mean, if you have it, then you have it. Like, if you have a Greatsword, you want to run it as a stat stick, sure. Because in the end of the day, it does have slightly more base damage than the Lulu, the pre-ascended Lulu. So yeah, the next one, let's talk about the Witch Spear. This is the interesting one, alright? So the Witch Spear has a passive on Predator skill hit, and every single one of their mother was asking what was Predator, what is Predator, and all that. I recently just got a confirmation that it is Bloodleech. So basically it's gonna kind of change how Bloodleech look, I think. Or it's just gonna pretty much apply a debuff on what Bloodleech is gonna be. Pretty much once you pop Bloodleech, it's gonna give them a weaken for 600 melee defense decrease. So essentially it's gonna be another Will Breaker, which is actually pretty good, because Will Breaker in general, it's a really strong skill. Slicing your enemy defense is pretty broken, in my opinion, in this game, because base defense in general is essentially, it's one of the stats that pretty much keeps you alive. The damage mitigation from defense is actually pretty good. I don't know there's not really a number to prove it, but again, I've been running just base defense, just a high base defense build and a high skill damage res, and that kept me alive throughout a lot of guillotines. So yeah, if you want to think about it that way, then it's essentially going to be cutting my type of build, and it's going to be targeting like the high base defense build type of player. And again, if you're running glass cannon, you're getting sliced by this, you're pretty much going to get crushed even more. So again, it's one of the interesting one, and the base damage is pretty low, of course, compared to other spears, because maybe the passive is a little bit strong and they just want to like balance it out that way. So yeah, it is what it is. But again, the attack speed in this spear is actually one of the interesting one. It's a pretty good attack speed. It has 0.67 attack speed, which is essentially the same attack speed as Crimson, but the only difference is it doesn't have the attack speed buff on it. So it is what it is, but it gives you 42 perception, crit, and cooldown speed. Essentially a better stat than Queen Bell Spear. So if you want to think about it that way, then this is essentially a pretty good spear as a stat stick in general. And you can get this spear pretty easily too. It's really accessible. You can just get it from a co-op dungeon. So in that regard, it's a really good spear in terms of like free to play ish. So yeah, I would say this is one of the best spear. Spear dagger, greatsword spear. You're probably gonna be good if you don't have any of the archbows and running this. The Junobot one is the one that I haven't tested yet, but by paper it looks pretty good because basically what it's saying, when you use Blood Leech aura, it's gonna take people around it and it's gonna create another Blood Leech zone in the enemy who got thick. So in that regard, if every single Blood Leech, let's assume they're gonna be doing the same thing, which is getting rid of healing touch or hots and some of the buffs player. So I would say taking buff away, if you can make the AoE somehow more AoE, it's gonna be one of the best passive in the game. But I haven't checked that yet. I haven't checked if it's actually like that or not, but that's just how the spear is gonna work. If it does work like that, then it's pretty meta. I would say it's one of the best one for sure. I don't think it beats the Lulu and the Greatsword spear, but in Spear Dagger it might beat a lot of the other passives that's out there. I mean, Crimson is still good and all that, but yeah, it's again, it's just one of the like interesting build that you can go for because it helps your whole, like pretty much your whole guild if you run this. Gives you fortitude, strength, max health, critical hit chance. It's pretty much, it gives you a lot of stat, and not as much as Lulu, of course, but one thing that I noticed from this spear is the sheer amount of base damage that this spear has. This spear somehow has more base damage than Delulu in min and max. It has 12 more base damage in min and 30 more max damage. Somehow. I'm pretty sure when Delulu is getting Ascent, it's gonna be the same base damage as Junobot spear, but I can't really confirm that, but that's pretty much what I got right now. So the base damage is pretty much, I would say it fights with Delulu's base damage, because again, the base damage is just a lot more. But it's just, yeah, it's just an interesting spear for sure. But if you want me to rank it, I would say, aside from the Lulu, I would say Junobot is probably number 1 in my list right now. Witch is number 2, and Supreme, the polearm resistance is number 3. If you're free to play, just run Witch. Not gonna lie, Witch is probably gonna be good. It's gonna be really good for a lot of you all. If you just want to like have a high base damage for whatever reason, then you want to run the polearm resistance. But again, I still think the Witch is better. I think having 30 more base damage is still weaker than shredding enemies' defense by 600, because your whole party can take that benefit, that buff benefit, and it makes your Blood Leech way stronger than pretty much like what it already is. So yeah, that's it for me. That's it for the spear video. I know the Archboss spear is not out yet, but once it's out, I'm pretty sure gonna be talking about it. And if I have the capacity to try it out, I would definitely love to try it out and let you guys know instantly like how it feels and all that. But yeah, aside from that, GG's, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you guys haven't know already, I stream on Twitch. Check it out. We got some drops on Twitch right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Bye bye.